Hey guys, it's Elizabeth. Welcome to the Four Walls Podcast. Today we have Trevor joining us. Welcome.
What up? What up? Thanks for having me.
Of course, thanks for being here. I'm so excited actually.
Yeah, I'm pumped. I mean, like this is like one of my first podcasts I don't think I've ever done, so I'm super excited.
Yeah, me too. So, who are you if
Well,
you had
my
to?
name is Trevor James. I am a full-time musician, a traveling musician from all over the place. I mean, from places from Miami to Iceland to Greenland and everything in between. I'm a bass player, vocalist, guitar player. I do a Jimi Hendrix tribute as well as a lot of my original music that I have on Spotify and Apple Music and all that stuff. But I am a full-time musician and full-time, I would say, a professional traveler. So this is like a perfect experience to be able to talk about traveling and everything like that. Currently
Absolutely.
living in Las Vegas, originally from Los Angeles, but I've been out in Vegas for about 13 years now. So been enjoying that.
Yeah, nice little drive up there, not too far
Exactly.
away.
Right, yeah, only about like a 3 hour drive from LA. So if I need to do any business or meet up with some friends, it's not too bad. Vegas is kind of centrally located to everything, so you can kind of get around easily.
Yeah, it makes it really perfect, especially for music, I could imagine.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool music stuff. I mean, the whole music industry is kind of, all over the place, but there's still a lot of great things out here. Thankfully, since I work so much, I do the cruise line. So a lot of the major cruise ships. So when I'm home, I just kind of relax because they keep us so busy when we're traveling. So when I'm home, just kick my feet up and kind of enjoy the time being home.
Yes, just hanging out. Oh my
Yeah, yeah,
gosh.
yeah.
So if you had to pick a memory, I'm sure you have so many since you do so much traveling, what would be one of the memories that comes to mind if you had to pick a favorite memory?
I would say one of the memories that always comes to mind that it's like a reoccurring dream is I was with my then fiance, my now wife. We went to Paris on a little vacation, just us two. We really had no plan. It was like a 10-day little vacation, and we love finding little music videos, hole in the wall, local spots. And there was this place that we went to called Babilo or something like that. It's
Mhm.
a small little bar cafe with a little underground jazz little,
Ooh.
like literally about the size of a closet. There was like four musicians, piano, bass, drums, and just this really small intimate thing. At least I think probably holds maybe 10 people down there, this little basement. And it was just one of those moments where it was midnight. You're in Paris. It's during, I think, January, so winter, so not a lot of tourism, and it was just like we time traveled back to like, I don't know, the 40s or 50s of Europe, of Paris, of the music scene, because it was just jazz. People, no one was on their phones. Everyone was kind of in the moment and no one was recording anything. It was just an experience where it's like, wow, like we just time traveled. I think we went into this building and time traveled. Ever since then, I mean, it's just like a memory that constantly occurs. Like it was so special that it's kind of hard to put in words because we didn't even really take that many pictures in there.
Hmm.
So it was like an experience that only we could remember and think of. And that's just one out of many, but that's the only one that's constantly a reoccurring memory of mine is nighttime in Paris at a jazz cafe that we just happen to stumble upon that's underground.
Those are my favorite moments when you
Right?
just stumble on that and you're like, wow, this is so just mind blowing that you could just stumble
Yeah.
across something like this.
Right. And it's like so hard to like, to put into words or to like, to picture it because it's like nobody would ever understand like
Hmm.
the type of vibes that were in that night. And it was just, yeah, it was a truly special experience that I was like, man, if I could just press replay, that's exactly what I go back to.
Man, that is so cool,
Yeah.
especially since you're into the music and that's your like life. So to find
Yeah.
something that really speaks to you on that level just randomly, it's like almost like that's where you were meant to be that night,
Right,
like
exactly.
something called you there.
Yeah, literally, because I mean, it's always been it was her first time ever pretty much leaving the country, going to Europe.
Wow.
And so to experience that, I had gone a couple of times before, but I was by myself. So to actually
Mhm.
experience it with someone was just like, whoa, like, so
Wow.
it was like there's a whole bunch of other, cool memories and things like that through my
Yeah.
travels, but that one is like definitely number one on the
Ah,
list.
I also
Yeah.
love those with your significant other too, your wife that you have a
Yeah,
child with now.
right. Oh,
Congratulations.
thank
Like,
you.
how
Thank you.
beautiful.
It's
How
it's
beautiful.
still it's a crazy experience, to every morning to come down and being like, wow, like we have a kid. But it makes it's an exciting thing because we do want to travel even more now, with him and
Really?
and and to experience because I grew up traveling when I was young,
Hmm.
when my parents would take the little playpen with them when they would travel all over the world. And so like to have a little one and to to have the experience of traveling. So it's like, you can show it to him in a different light, And so that's kind of like the thing that we're looking forward to is a lot of traveling with him and even like just local traveling as far as like camping and road trips and things like that, so that's what we're excited about because he's at that age now where he's starting to understand, what he's kind of looking at.
That is so cool to hear you say because I feel like when you hear people talk about having children, especially people that traveled a lot, they're always like, we're not traveling as much.
Right.
Or you hear that, like, I hear all the time, travel now because when you have kids, you won't be able to travel.
Right. They say that, which I understand, especially in the climate of the world that we live in with financial
Yeah.
things and things are expensive. I get that. But, it's the best time to experience that because you have a lot of people, adults that they don't get to travel until
Mhm.
later on in life or they decide, for my retirement, I'm going to travel the world. And it's like by that time, there's certain things that when you're older, you don't want to do when you're younger,
Yeah.
and jet lag. And if you're going somewhere far, it's like, I don't want to walk 10 miles, to go on this tour. I just want to stay at the hotel now and do the
Yeah.
stuff. So it's like it's still a good window to still stay young and being able to experience those things now. And then when you're older, then you can kind of reflect on certain things. Because I run into a lot of
Yeah.
retired people that are now
Mhm.
traveling, and it's great. They get to see it, but they're using it more for relaxation rather than,
Mhm.
really exploring the culture and hanging with the locals. That's
Yeah.
something we want to do, really
Mhm. For
feel
sure.
that energy. But when you get older, it's like, yeah, we don't want to go out at night.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like that's a good point too. It's like when you're young, you want to go walk 10,000 steps a day. You want to go find the cool jazz bar on the random
exactly.
street in Paris.
Yeah.
But I can imagine being like 60 years old, 70 years old. I think I just want to sit on the beach.
Right, yeah. It's like I just want a cocktail and a nice resort. I want to just put my feet up and take it easy. It's like we don't want you kind of lose that adventure-ness,
Mhm.
of it. I mean, even myself, I find like, let me just stick in my bubble where it's, normally I'm still like that where I want to
Mhm.
go see the local spots, but it's not, I guess, as prevalent now because it's like, maybe I just want to, find a nice little coffee shop and people watch all day. But then I get also the same time, I'm like, I do want to explore and find those little gems and create those little moments.
Yeah. So, how young were you when you started traveling? 'Cause you said you traveled with your parents too.
Yeah. So the first trip that I can remember as a young kid was we went to Italy, we went to Pompeii. And I think I was probably 7 or 8 because there's a
Mhm.
photo and I have a little film camera and I still have actual film photos from, I
Wow.
think that was
Yes.
like I forgot what year that was, like maybe 2000 or 2001 or something like that. And that was like one of the trips that I can remember, walking
Mhm.
around Europe with my family and everyone coming out at night. It's such a different way of experiencing dinner there than it does like in the States. Like in the States, you
Yes.
eat, you don't have any time, you just kind of eat something to sustain, you go to sleep. Whereas there, everything is kind of based around dinner, so everyone
Mhm.
comes out at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, families, everyone's got wine, and it's a cool thing to see because it's, everyone, I always say people, in Europe or just overseas, they live to work, whereas over here we kind of work to live. So it's like they
Yeah.
they appreciate or they cherish a little bit more family time, which
Mhm.
I absolutely love. I think that's the greatest thing, where you have grandparents and cousins and everyone. It's
Yes.
not like a holiday. It's just a regular
Mhm.
night, and everyone's coming out to just kind of have their little communion and fellowship with each other over dinner. So yeah, around like 7 years old, I remember experiencing that and being like, I kind of like this.
Wow.
I like traveling, and since then, I mean, yeah, I've traveled all over the place. I mean, from a young age till now, I mean, 60 something plus countries, and
Wow.
from cool places to like places that are like, oh, well, that was an experience. I don't know if I want to go back, but at least I can say, I
Yeah,
went
you've done
there.
it, right?
Exactly. Now, what I haven't done, like I haven't been to Asia. I know that you've been in
Really?
Vietnam, and
Yeah.
yeah, you've been over there. So like that had to be an incredible,
Oh my gosh.
experience.
Yeah, I actually love traveling through Asia. It's been a really great time. I keep thinking to myself, like, man, I keep going back to Asia, but like, I need to go to like Africa.
Right.
And like, I've only been to like Italy and
Yeah.
London, so like, I need to go to Europe and like,
But I mean, but it's like one of those things. It's like when you find like a place that you enjoy, it's like, of course, yeah, you want to travel the world, but when you find places that you enjoy and you want to frequent, and you start to, meet friends there, then they start telling you,
hmm
all the cool spots to hang. It's like it's sometimes it is hard to travel somewhere else because it's like going into the unknown, where it's like you're so familiar now with, more of the Asian countries, where it's like, I like this is my vibe.
Yeah, I feel like it's also, I'm still on the younger end of things, so it's like going to Asia, it's a little more friendly to my budget to where
Yeah,
like I can actually go and still enjoy it, whereas
right.
like I could spend 3 weeks in Asia versus like if I went somewhere else, I might be able to go like a week or something. So
Right.
I
Like
think
if you go
that's
to
still
like
a big part of
Norway and
it.
you're like, oh wow, this is
Yeah.
pretty expensive. We need to cut the trip a little shorter.
Yes, I think there was one time a friend of mine was really wanting to see the Northern Lights, and we were talking about going to I think it's Iceland or is
Yeah.
it Greenland?
Yeah.
Iceland,
Yeah,
yeah.
Iceland up there, yeah.
And then we started looking into it, and I was like,
You're like, wait a
oh,
minute.
I said,
It's
you
like
might have lost me.
it's like maybe let's reconvene in a couple years when, things have kind of calmed down financially.
Yes, I
Yeah.
started seeing prices of food, and I said, wait, they pay how much?
Yo, it's like no joke. And like I see people like do these, month-long trips in countries like that. I'm like, what do y'all do? Are y'all just living debt? Like eyeballs up to debt? Because I'm looking at prices and flights and I'm like, yeah, 2 days
Right?
tops, and then we out.
And we gotta go. But yeah,
Yeah.
you've seen the Northern Lights, haven't you?
Yeah, and the funny thing is, it's like for years, like I always thought that to see the Northern Lights, you've got to go to Iceland and it's got to
hmm
be the dead of winter. It's like -20. And I'm like, I don't mind the cold weather, but I ain't got nothing. I don't have any kind of clothes for weather
No.
below 20 degrees. And so negative, I'm like, I don't know if I'll ever get a chance to see that. So a couple years ago in Alaska,
Mm,
it was some weird phenomenon because it was during the summertime in Alaska, and we were able to see the Northern Lights, and that was my first time ever seeing them. And then after that, every year that I would go up to Alaska, we started seeing it more often. And being on the cruise ship, sometimes they don't announce that it's out there, and you don't really see it with the naked eye. People think like when they see it on Instagram, it's like you walk out, it's like, wow, green and Northern Lights. It's
yeah.
really not like that. Like
Really?
if you take a photo of it, you have to have a very slow shutter speed on your phone or a regular cam
Mm,
for it to come out. Like you have to have the nighttime mode. Because if you look at
yeah.
it, you'll see kind of like a glow, a mist. It kind of looks like there's a city, a few miles away that's kind of glowing. And so you really don't know that it's out there until you take your phone out, you put it on that slow nighttime, and you're like, oh my gosh, like it's right over us. So I was able to experience it a couple of times. One was in the sky. We were flying, and I happened to like look out there, and I could see this like purple greenish glow, and I'm like, oh, that's the Northern Lights. So I get my phone out, and I'm like taking pictures, and it's like just purples and greens, and so I don't know if it's like something
Yay.
scientific that it's happening more where you don't need to be in the winter or go super
Yeah.
far up north. But
Hmm.
but yeah, it's an incredible. That was definitely something that I always wanted to see, and I finally
Mhm.
have been seeing it, and it's a cool thing, but it's hard to catch. Like you just don't know, you know, when it is, and you don't have to necessarily go in the winter time, up north. So Alaska has it, yeah, because it's like I'm like I don't think I'll ever get a chance to see see that because that was always the thing. It's like, oh yeah, Northern Lights. You got to go in the dead of winter up north, but yeah, you could catch it in Alaska during the summertime. So that's kind of cool.
I almost feel bamboozled because, like, the way I see it is, I'm like, it should be these like stunning lights, and it's just bright and
I thought the same thing when they were like, "Oh, the Northern Lights," and I'm going up to them. I'm like, I don't. I'm like, is it over? Or is it going to warm up? Are we? Is this still the warm up
like a
period? And they're
sunset. Like this is the beginning. It's gonna get better.
exactly, exactly. And I'm thinking like the sky was going to just be saturated, but you know that's the thing about online and social media. People crank that satch up, and they're like, "Oh, this is." It's like
Yeah,
no. Now here's the thing. It might look like that during the
in the
winter
negative
time
20.
in the negative 20, no light pollution, maybe. So I
Ooh,
can't
okay.
confirm, but the times that I have seen it, it hasn't been like to the naked eye, like, whoa, this
Mm.
is bright. Like, yeah, we're turning the satch up when we take the photos. We got to turn that saturation and that vibrance up. And it's like, whoa. But yeah, to the naked eye, it's impressive. And at the same time, it's kind of like, because you can see it moving and
Mhm.
part of you is like, what are we actually looking at? Like, is this safe? Like, should we be out here into these northern lights? Like, what is,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's definitely an experience I think everyone should try to see, at
Hmm.
least once. And but if you want to see it, Alaska, sometime in
Yeah.
Alaska during the summertime, getting closer to the end of summertime, you
Mm.
might be able to see it. So you don't have to
Yeah.
you
I've
don't have
heard
to get
wonderful things about
yeah.
Alaska too, like how
Oh,
beautiful it is.
oh my gosh, it's gorgeous. I always tell people everyone should at least see Alaska once or twice
Mm.
to get experience. Like yeah, after it could get a little boring,
Hmm.
same stuff, but it's a gorgeous gorgeous place. I mean, you see killer whales, you might see some humpback whales, all the eagles everywhere. It's a cool thing. I love Alaska. The temperature is great. And then during the summertime now it's like 75 to 80
Ooh,
degrees. Even though
that's
it might
nice.
it might be cold for some of us, but you have the native Alaskans that it's like 60 degrees and they're in the pool in the ocean swimming. Oh, the water's like 30 to 20 degrees and they're in there like it's the Caribbean. They're just I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna
No,
get hypothermia.
that's diabolical. That's diabolical.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do that. I put my hand in there. I'm like, nah, these are polar bears.
Because
They
even
are
down here in
humid.
LA, I put my toes like in the Pacific, and I'm like, ugh.
Oh
So
yeah,
I couldn't
no.
imagine being up in Alaska.
Right. The water in California is pretty much just to look at.
Yes, for sure.
Just look at it and say, that's an ocean. We're gonna keep it that way.
Man, I remember one of the first times I came out to California as like a teenager. My aunt lives out here in like
Hmm.
between here and San Francisco.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, like I'm in California. Let's do like some surf lesson. No, you're. I think they had. I don't remember if it was 3 millimeter or 5 millimeter wetsuit. My hands were like purple.
Oh
My
my
toes were
gosh.
so cold.
See, that's the thing they don't tell you about California water. Like it's cold. Like it might be gorgeous palm trees and warm weather, but that water is cold.
Yes, and once that sun goes down, where's your jacket?
Yeah. Put it on, that marine layer comes through and it's a wrap. Now where's home base for you?
In LA now.
In LA now. Oh, okay, okay, awesome. Yeah, that's that's
Yeah.
that's my home. LA right there.
Yeah, I'm loving it out here. There's just always something to do. Like the
Yeah.
Hollywood Bowl is so cool with all of their concerts and things they
Yeah.
have going on. And
Yeah.
then, you really just have everything, like all types of food, like whatever you want that day. It's like, let me go get it.
Literally, like LA's got everything. I mean, and it's
And
like changed even so much since I was there. I mean, I go back
yeah,
and I'm like, oh my gosh, this place is, there's just so many new things and like restaurants within restaurants and this. I mean, there's always something to do, you know.
go Dodgers back to back years.
Right, back to back, There we go. You got the Dodgers. I mean, you got,
Third.
you've you're a Dodgers fan now. I get it. Hey, that's when you move to a city, you got to support the team, even if you don't know anything about them, or you got to support them now. Like out
Well,
here,
'cause
we have the Raiders now, and it's like, go Raiders, even though they've just been had a rough season. I don't keep up with much, football, enough to be like
to
chime
know.
into a conversation, be like, oh yeah, those guys, they're not doing so well.
Oh gosh, yeah. But you know, one thing, LA really supports their teams. Like you see everyone
Man,
wearing it everywhere, and it's just like, okay, I guess I might as
man, they do. I mean, it's like they could be trash, and they're like, I'm repping this team till I die. So now, where's the next location that you're gonna travel to? Where's the next spot?
St. Lucia. Have you been?
Oh
I
yeah,
would assume.
I actually
Yeah,
think in a couple trips I'm going back there.
really?
Yeah, just for the day, just kind of passing through. But St. Lucia, that's it's a beautiful place.
Yeah, I've heard really, really amazing things. I was actually on one of the Virgin Voyages cruises through the
Oh, nice.
Caribbean. It was the Cartagena and Caribbean cruise
Oh
with one
yeah.
of
Oh,
my
is that the one you?
girlfriends.
Oh, nice. That's the one you just did,
Yeah.
right? How
Yeah,
did you
not
like
too long
Colombia?
ago. And we were supposed to go to St. Lucia, and then the day before, they're like, actually, we're changing our porch. We're gonna go to, and I was like,
Oh no, so they just maybe because I wonder if there was a hurricane out. There was a hurricane out
no, it
that way,
wasn't
wasn't
hurricane
there?
season. This was
No?
back like the beginning of the year, like January,
Oh
February time.
wow. I wonder why
So I know, I
they
was,
gypped you. They
yeah,
gypped you. They were
yeah, they
like,
did. I was so excited because you see, yeah,
yeah, you see the brochure and the videos. They're like, they can't do anything now. We got them now. Just we'll go somewhere else.
they're on
Yeah,
the
they
boat.
already paid. What are they gonna do? Try to swim there? No, get them out of here.
Man. So
Yes,
yeah, so I'm
St.
really
Lucia's great.
excited. I'm going with my partner, so
Oh,
it's gonna
nice.
be a great little trip, and
How long are you
yeah,
guys
I'm
gonna be
really
out there
excited.
for?
Like almost a week. So yeah, we're gonna just beach bum it up and
Oh, that's great. See, that's the best way to do it. I mean, to beach bum or just like the local scene. Like anytime I travel, I want to try to find as little English as I can possibly
yes,
find. I want
yes.
to go somewhere where it's like I'm looking around like, yeah, the locals like this spot, so it clearly is good. Don't give me any burgers. I don't want to see a menu that's
No,
got pizza and hot dogs on it. If that's on there,
yes.
no, no, get me out of
Yeah.
there.
We're both pretty much the same way on that one, where it's like, St. Lucia is very known for its like really popular resorts that are really
Right,
crazy expensive, and
right.
we're staying more in like I didn't book the hotel, but he said it was more like a Caribbean style
Oh,
esque,
nice.
like gonna be more like out of the way. Like I was
Right.
like, yes, count me in. Like,
Yeah. Because
yeah, so
you get those resorts that, like they're beautiful, but it's like
mhm,
you don't get the authentic feeling of where you're at.
yeah, you
It's everything is
don't. And
so
then
catered to tourism that you're like, am I
yes,
getting gypped right now?
yes, and you are.
Right. It's like,
Unfortunately,
yeah,
you are because
unfortunately
like the
you're
food
getting
is probably terrible. You're probably eating burgers and like
right.
overdone
And
steak.
they're saying like, oh, this is the Caribbean Big Mac, and you're like, oh wow, and then it's like it's just a burger.
Yes, just a burger. But yeah, so what are your travels like coming up?
Oh, so I leave in a couple days, and where am I going? I get on another ship, and it goes to Miami, and then I believe it sails to Bermuda, and then we leave. I think we leave out of Bermuda. I come back home for a day, and
Mm,
then we fly to Grenada, overnight there, and then it does the islands around, and then it sails back to Miami, and then I
okay.
fly from home. So it's a lot of this part of the year. It's a lot of Caribbean. Like during the summertime, I was up in
Hmm.
Alaska almost the whole time. Alaska and Canada, from the
Hmm.
east coast of Canada, so like Montreal, Quebec, and then the west coast, which is
Hmm.
Vancouver, Victoria,
Hmm.
Canada. Just two of my
Yeah.
favorite places.
Yeah, they're so
But now,
beautiful.
oh, Victoria is if I could move up there and have the budget, I would be there in a minute. But everything is just so expensive. Like I look at the homes and apartments, and I'm like, yeah, that's not happening anytime soon. But this part of the year is definitely all Caribbean, back and forth
Hmm.
to the Caribbean until the end of the year, and then I believe we go to. So when I say we, me and my father. So me and my father are a pair, and we travel together. He's a singer. I'm his musical director. So I travel wherever he goes. We go there together. So I think next month we fly back to Colombia, and we do Panama, and then I think we do the Panama Canal, and
Yeah.
a few other places, and then back home. So lot of traveling, a lot of
How
all.
fun. No, you've been how was Panama? That's like
It
high
was
on my list right now, and I just Oh, I gotta visit.
it's a very interesting place. Of course, so much culture and,
Hmm.
fresh fruits. I mean,
Yeah.
the coffee, if you're a coffee person, Colombia and Panama are the best places for coffee. But it's a cool experience. It reminds me there was a time I went to Cuba for the
Hmm.
first time, and it reminds me a little bit of that. Yeah, Cuba was a cool place. It was like just a time capsule, like, from the 50s, because you have all old cars. All the cars that they have there are all
Oh,
from the
dang.
50s. So it's all these 50s and 60s cars out there. And all the guys work on them. They work on their own cars. They make their own
Yeah.
parts. And so it's like
Dang.
Panama. It kind of, and Panama and Colombia kind of have that same feel. It's just Cuba was just such a historical place. It's like this one little place that has never changed with everything, technology and everything around there. And then, of course, we couldn't go back there because they, passed all these
Yeah.
bills
So
and
when
stuff.
did you go to Cuba? Because
It
like
was,
I feel like you can't even fly there from the U.S. now.
yeah,
You have
like
to fly
unless
somewhere else.
right, like, or yeah, that, or if like you're Canadian, or I think if you have like a special, like maybe work visa or something that you can
Hmm.
go. But it was before, I think during the Obama administration. So it was like
Hmm.
2000, what was it, or Biden, whatever. It was around 2016, 2017,
Okay. Okay.
and 2018. And they had opened it up to go there, and I mean, it was the most incredible thing. And then the people there, they were so friendly and so like excited to have American tourists coming there, because
Yeah.
they started to profit. They started to get more money in because people were taking tours, they were building new hotels there. The cruise ship would overnight there, so you had all day to
Oh,
do
wow.
whatever, and then at night you can go off. And that was a wild experience because none of the streets have any street lights.
Oh,
It's just completely black, because there's not a lot of electricity. So we get off, and a friend of mine had a card that they got earlier on in the day. It had like, I don't know, like I had like a rooster on it or something like that. And it was like, you give this to this person that's through this door, through this alley. So I'm walking with them like, all right, I don't know where we're going. This is kind of getting a little sketchy. It's dark. There's, groups of people kind of scattered. And we go up these stairs. It's like a little red light, and there's a guy at the door. And I'm like, all right, what is this about? So he gives him the car. The guy opens the door, and it's literally just like someone's apartment. There's like
whoa.
10, 10, 15, 20 people in there. They have a little bar set up, some like music, and everyone's just in there hanging around, having drinks.
What?
And they had, just like I don't know, the beers were like $1 or something like that. And it was just like the most, incredible experience. And then it was like, well, yeah, there's really no crime because, commit a crime in like Cuba, you don't want to go to a Cuban prison. So it's like no
Yeah.
one wanted to do anything. Everyone was just super friendly.
Dang.
And so it kind of reminds me of like, and as far as like architecture and vibe of like Panama and Colombia. So yeah, you gotta see the Latin places over there. I mean, you already went to Colombia, so yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that was a great time. I definitely Bogota was a really nice city. Like
Yeah.
such a great time out there. And seeing Shakira out there just adds a whole nother
Right,
like
yeah.
level
That
to
was
it. Cause
so now did you plan that? Like that she was gonna be like, you were like, we're gonna plan this trip to see her, or was it like, oh,
yeah.
she happened to be here and we're gonna go see her?
No, so she did her tour in LA when we were in Vietnam.
Okay.
And my boyfriend was like Shakira was high on his list of like I want to see her, like I want to go to her concert because he's super into music too.
Okay,
And
dope.
so I was like, okay, well, where should we go see her then? Like, why are we acting like we can't go see her?
Right, like
So
she right here.
I know. So we were looking at New York, and then he started looking at New York hotels and the flights, and it was just like, whoa, why is this creeping up
Yeah.
there on that price?
It's like we getting up there now. Like, whoa, bring it down.
Those hotels they have skyrocketed. So, we were like, okay, well, where else is she going? Like, why would we not just go see her? Like,
It's
let's
like
go.
where's a place that the hotels are we could see her and we could stay at a decent place.
We can have a vacation and see her. How
Right.
beautiful.
Right.
And So then he was like, well, she's gonna be in Bogota and Cali, Colombia. So we were basically just like, well, which one do we want to go to? And ended up picking Bogota, and we just went for like 4 full days, and it was a
Oh
great
my
time.
gosh. Oh, that is awesome. That is so cool. It's great
Yeah.
when you can go somewhere and see, your either favorite artist or just an artist
Mhm.
that rarely kind of travels in the States.
Yeah.
That it's such a, because it's a completely different atmosphere,
It is, especially her being from Colombia. Like,
Right.
it's just, it added a whole nother layer of just, you could just feel so much like energy and intensity. Like,
Yeah.
it's like I said at the last podcast too. My friend Maria was on the
Mhm.
previous one, and she's Colombian, and I
Oh,
was like,
no.
yeah, like literally, she's like having. She didn't even have anyone open for her. Like she's Shakira, so of course who's
Right.
opening? Like she just doesn't need it.
Right.
So
It's
she's
Colombia.
literally
I'm
just
home.
yes. So she's literally just playing her music videos, and the crowd that's already there is just singing them. So it's like you think she's on stage because you're still going to, but literally it's just the crowd just
You're over
having
there
a
like,
good
where is
time, like they're
she?
in their.
It's like, I don't, was this a music video tour or where is she?
So it's just you bring that energy because it's like you don't really get that. Like I feel like I've never gone to a concert in the United States and like just heard the crowd singing from outside when the performer's not even on stage.
Right, right. It's like sometimes it's like more of like about the prep work of like what are you gonna wear, what kind
Hmm.
of Instagram story you're gonna do. It's like sometimes you shy away from the actual concert,
Yeah.
but then you go to, places like that, Colombia or anywhere overseas, and it's like they are there for the artist. They have
Yes.
taken a train there, they have taken a flight to come, they are there, for it. It's just a completely different, like you said, a different energy about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I feel like that's just kind of might be the like go to from now on is like
Yeah,
who
for
are we
playing around
gonna
a concert.
see?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Because
think
it
that's
just
an
makes so much sense,
yeah,
especially, because you can get tickets. It's not, you don't have like all of the companies that are, upping the
right,
prices and reselling them. So it's like,
exactly.
it like financially it kind of makes more sense, like believe it or not.
It really does, because I mean, it's like what you could pay, for a plane ticket, a hotel, and a concert ticket in another
Mm.
country. Just the concert ticket and maybe the hotel would already be,
Yeah.
insane. Where you're like, okay, we got to pick either we do a day trip or we fly in, see the concert, and just kind of figure it out or bum it somewhere, But you go anywhere else, and it's like we can get an Airbnb. Now we've got
Yeah.
plenty for food. We can now see them and explore a
Hmm.
little bit.
Yeah.
That's the really downside, like concerts out here. It's like, we always want to go see a concert and we look at
Yeah.
the prices and we're like, shit. And then it's like, well, okay, maybe that's what concerts. And we look at hotels and we're like, oh my gosh. It's like, are we
Yeah.
performing? Like, are we
Yeah.
the ones? Like, how is it this much money?
Yeah, so it just yeah, that's why I say yeah. We literally went to Colombia for Shakira, and the
That's
people
so
that
cool.
would like ask us like, because there wasn't a lot of other Americans in
Mhm.
Bogota. Like the tourists that were there were European from the Netherlands, from like
Right. Oh,
those
wow.
countries. So they're there for a couple weeks, because for them
Yeah.
that's a long flight versus like us, it's kind of just like a hop skip.
Yeah.
So their
Yeah.
faces when they're like, "You're here for the weekend?" Like, what do you mean the weekend?
Right, like the weekend, like we're here, we partially moved here for this vacation. That's how it is out here in Vegas. And
Mhm.
even in LA, like you'll meet someone from like England or Australia, and it's like, oh, how long are you out here for? It's like, oh, we're out here for 2 months. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
and it's like when we
Like, you're out here.
vacation, right? When we vacation, it's like, oh, how long? We're here for a week. That's it. You came that far for just a week. It's like, well,
Yeah.
yeah, we don't have the time and finances to be out here for 2 months
Yeah, just
just
having a good
enjoying
time.
life. We gotta work.
Yeah, that's one thing about, Europeans and like those countries over there is I've noticed traveling, they take their time. Like
Yeah,
it's never just a week. Like maybe it's a week in one country, but then they're on to another one. They're not going
right,
back home. And I'm just like
right.
I thought that was really cool when I first like experienced that from them, because I was like, wow, you guys look at life just totally
Yeah,
differently.
totally different. And it's like being over there in Europe, like here, if I drive 3 hours somewhere, I'm in another state. Whereas like over there, you drive 3 hours or take a 3 hour train, you're in a whole nother country. new
Mm-hmm.
cultures, different foods. So it's like they have the benefit of being able to do that. So it's like, yeah, having a month over there is great because it's like you can knock out, three,
So
four
much.
countries in, that span of
Easily. And you
time,
don't even have to hop on
each
a
one.
flight.
Right. You don't have to get on a flight. You can find a friend and say, "Hey, I'm going to go to Amsterdam for the day," or I'm going to take the train from Paris to England. Now you're in a whole. It's
Yeah.
it's just the coolest thing where it's like we don't get a chance to experience that. Over here. It's like Vegas to LA. It's like, are we still in Vegas? Is this part of the backyard of LA or whatnot? Like we can't experience that over here. So yeah, that's the thing. Now you said St. Lucia is the next spot. Now where's a destination that you've been like? It's like high on the list where you're like, I've got to make this a plan to go there. Where's the spot?
I have actually been dying to, well, not dying, I'm so dramatic, but I really want to do like a 2 month trip or like a month trip and go from like Barcelona, do Madrid, go down the coast, Barcelona, and then take the ferry over to Morocco and then do Marrakesh in the desert and everything. So like for me, I'm like that would be a nice couple of weeks, like a nice
Right.
month. So that's a trip that for me has been like, okay, when can I do this? When can I fit it
Right.
in? Like
So
when's a good time?
that's like top on your list. Like, yeah, like
Yeah.
everywhere else is cool, but like that's like a main goal.
Yeah, because I feel like there's just so much there,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Spain has so much to offer, and especially I heard beautiful things, like especially when you get to like the coast with
Yeah.
how things are and like the old architecture and the museums and the food, of course, like Spanish food is just so
Some paella,
good.
seafood paella, or some,
Yes.
yeah. That's the thing. It's like to go there and try these foods, and
Hmm.
especially if you're like adventurous in trying new food. I mean, you come back home and you're like, well, here's a cup of noodles.
Yeah.
Cheers to a cup of noodles. Where it's over there, it's like everything is so
Fresh.
vibrant. The flavors are fresh, and that's the one thing about traveling that is so amazing is the type of food. Like, yeah, we can go to a nice restaurant there, but over there it can be just a mediocre restaurant. The food is going to be incredible.
Yeah.
You don't have to go to a 5-star restaurant to have good food. It's like anywhere you go, just some street food. It's
Yeah.
just like, gosh, it takes so much time and care into their product. It's amazing.
They do, and you can taste it's crazy how you can like actually taste the difference of the
Yeah,
food, like even just eating fruit. And you can tell that they're getting their fruit from like the local farmers and like they really are in their community with getting their ingredients.
right,
Whereas, here we've got like what is it, Cisco or whoever who gives like all the restaurants the same like
right.
you know
All the same stuff. You just pump it out. Just it's a factory. You don't know if it's
yeah, so
real or not.
yes. So it's just kind of like going back and forth so much. You just kind of like I feel like myself yearning for that good like flavorful like cuz you could get the same food but it never tastes the same here,
Oh
you
yeah,
know?
it's you go to the produce and you get fruit and like you get home and you taste it and you're like, this doesn't taste like anything. You're like,
Yeah.
what am I? It's like, am I sick? Is there something wrong with me, or is it the food? Is it the food? Because it's
It's
like we
the
get
food.
stuff all the time, and we come home and we're like, this doesn't. And then you go over there and you have a mango, and it's like, wow. It's like
Yes.
it's just thriving. But here we can't get that, and it's a
I know.
shame.
That's one thing. Colombia, I love their mangoes there. I don't know what they do to them there, but
It's just the soil. It's like the soil is just so that rich, that rainforest soil. You know,
yes. So, you've been to so many countries. What is one that keeps drawing you back?
I would say if I could like in a minute just say we're taking a flight there. I think it would probably be Greece
Really?
is a place because I'm a foodie. I like food,
Hmm.
and that was probably the best Greek salad I have ever had in my life. It was like that was like you go to a restaurant and they say, "Oh, Greek salad," and they put like lettuce,
Yeah.
tomatoes, and it's like, nah, it's not a Greek salad. Like it was just chunks of tomatoes, cucumbers, Greek olives, and just a dressing and feta cheese, and it was just like, oh my gosh.
Wow.
it was in, incredible. But I mean, I think I would like to do a lot more exploring as far as like not necessarily backpacking, but to find, more of the locals that can take me deep somewhere where it's like, only they
Yeah.
know the area. But yeah, I'd like to go to Thailand. I'd like to go to Singapore. Though I haven't been over there. Japan, I'm very curious about Japan.
You're gonna love Japan. You're gonna love, honestly, whenever you'll have to hit me up whenever you do go to Singapore. I have a restaurant.
Okay,
And
okay,
it's one of, I think about this restaurant often. Like, we spent a week in Singapore when I
right,
was spending 2 months through Asia, and
right.
I think a week was a bit long.
Oh,
Singapore's
really?
a small
Okay.
country. It's a smaller country, it's just like
Uh-huh.
that corner little spot, and
Right.
it's like a big city, and they've got a lot of cool things, but it is a little more on the pricier side because they import a lot of things. And there's this one restaurant, and it's in like the Arabic neighborhood,
Okay.
and I think it's called like Bar Stories. Bar Stories.
Bar
And why?
stories. Okay.
Yes. And you go in, you're like walking down this little alleyway, and you pass this like mosque, and you're just like, okay, like where am I? Like we're walking, cool, cool. And then you see like the little sign, and you got to go like up these like small narrow stairs to the second floor, and
See,
you're
that's the
like
best
ducking
place.
down. Yes, and you get up there and you've got like a cute little bar, you've got like a bunch of little seats everywhere, and you're like, okay, like, are we get this is a vibe, okay, I'm liking it. And then you sit down and they hand you the food menu and you're like, okay, and then they're like, so then just tell us what you like to drink. And you're like, what do you mean? And they're like, we'll make it based exact like whatever you like. If you like it fruity, sour, like you just tell us what kind of like flavor palette that you're into, and we'll bring you like one tailor made to you.
See, that's dope. See, I love places that are creative like that. That kind of just like
Yeah.
you tell them what you want, and they're like, "Cool,
We
we'll
got
make
it.
something. We'll
Yeah.
work it out." See, that's the best. Any type of spot that like you gotta go up some little stairs, you gotta make a left. There's a little door. You don't know what's like what's the vibe, and then
Mhm.
you go in there and you're like, oh, "This is the
Yeah.
place."
It is very intimate. It is very, you got the soft music, and then the food. Me and my friend, so I was with, there were six of us, but me and my friend Danae, we got the, like, I don't even remember what it was called, but it's like the set menu where you're like trying a bunch of different things. And
Or like
when
kind of
you
like a
like get those, like,
oh yeah,
yeah, you get those are usually like small portions, and you're like,
right.
oh, I'm still hungry. No, the portions were huge. We were
They would pack it
stuffed.
in there.
They had like so much meat. We had kangaroo meat.
True meat.
Kangaroo meat.
All right, so how was that?
Delicious. It was
I mean,
so good.
is it like the typical thing, like it tastes like chicken, or was it like a
No, no, no. It was like a really nice, like, sirloin.
really?
Like very lean. Like they cooked it so beautifully. It was
I'd
delicious.
see. I'd be down. I'm adventurous when it comes to food, so I'm definitely
Yeah,
trying that.
I know everyone was looking at me crazy. I'm like, y'all, this is great. You're like, when you want
Right? It's like where else can you order that? It's like you may as well, when in Rome, I may as well try it.
Yeah. Yeah, like when else am I gonna get kangaroo meat? Like we're literally
Yeah,
right here from Australia. Like unless I go to Australia and get a kangaroo, like I'm probably not.
right. Be like, yeah, we got one right over there. It's like him. That's who I'm getting. Yeah, that I mean, and that's the thing. It's like when you go to places and foreign places, I always say try the most outrageous food because it's like when are you gonna have a chance to try it? And if it's like if you don't like it, at least you can say you tried it.
Hmm.
That's been my motto and my what my dad instilled into me. It's like you never
Love
know what you're
that.
missing out on. Just try it. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But at least you can say, oh yeah, I had it. Instead of people that are like, oh, I don't want that. It's like, have you tried it?
Yeah.
No. It's like, well, you don't know if it's good or not.
Yeah, or like when you go to Japan, you've got to look for like the horse meat sashimi. Horse
Oh,
meat.
that's a different one. Horse meat.
I know.
It's like I don't know. If I saw it, someone's like, "Ooh, that looks good," and like I eat it, and they're like, "That's horse meat." I think I feel some type of way. I'd be like, "Dang, I like horses."
No, it's good though.
It's good. It's good though. Seabiscuit is good.
It's good, and I mean it's different because you're like in my head you think, dang, am I about to eat this raw like horse meat? Like, am I really about to eat because it's sashimi?
So
So
it's straight. I
yes,
didn't even know you can eat raw
with a raw egg.
with a raw egg. So just straight like pit bull meal. Just just plate of raw goodies. That's cane corso meal right there.
And you've got like the Japanese beer in the other hand. Yeah, yeah.
See, there we go. See, you got to add some beer, some sake. Then it's like, okay, down base, but just a bowl of raw things. See,
Yeah, and
my
it wasn't a big one. It was like a small dish, but
a small little dish.
it was worth trying. And you know, it was like it was in the I think Ito's the city, but it was the Izu Peninsula. And so like I guess they're
Okay.
known for that.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was kind of like cuz I
Interesting.
was like what's something I should try while I'm here? And they're
Probably
like they
like
pointed to it and they're
horse.
like this
Like, whoa.
let me get
I thought
one.
you go. I thought you were gonna say the firecracker shrimp, with a horse. Okay.
The horse. Oh, all right.
So now, when you eat, like, when you go to places like that, do you ever think about or concerned about like food poisoning or like things like messing up? Because like once you go on a week trip and you try like a small place, do you ever think about like this might mess me up for the rest of the trip? And because like I've been hit with food poisoning where I'm like, oh, this is good. I eat it. I'm like, that was the wrong move.
You know, the only time I've ever gotten food poisoning is from when I worked in Connecticut. They used to have food trucks outside the hospital at lunch. That is the only time I ever got food
That's the
poisoning.
only time. Of course, in the
Oh,
U.S., you get four. Have horse meat and a raw egg, full on cane corso meal,
but I got that
perfectly
chicken
fine.
shawarma and it fucked
Got
me
that
up for
chicken
that.
shawarma, and I'm done. Just took me out. That
Man,
is
I never thought
horrible.
I thought I was on the verge of death.
See, that just really shows you that the food in the States just be killing people. You can go just
Yeah.
to the most obscure place and then
Yes.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Backyard, get a
And I
burger,
think
done.
really I'm not, you know, when I go to try things, I'm not looking for the most outrageous thing. Like if I see people like using their hands for everything or like like I'm mindful of like okay, like usually like I'm not eating raw food from the street. Like if it's
Right,
grilled and cooked, I'll eat the meat. Yeah, it's great.
right,
Like the
yeah.
steaks. But like if someone were to offer me some like horse meat sashimi off the side of the street, I'd be
Like
like,
just a
you
random dude.
know, next time. I got you. Next time.
I'll get
See you
you. I'll get
tomorrow.
you. I'll get you when I see you
But
in a restaurant.
so I think there's definitely like levels to what you try and wear. Cause like even in Korea, I had octopus and they literally just took the octopus out the tank, cut off one of its tentacles, and then like chopped it up and they're like, here you go.
I was gonna ask you because I know that's big over there. I was gonna ask you if you tried just straight up a live
I did.
octopus.
Yeah.
Now,
It is
how is it? Because I mean, like I've heard the
weird.
horror stories of that,
Yeah,
where it's like the
it
octopus is
was
fighting.
weird. Yeah. So it's like I felt really bad and for all the animal lovers out there, please, I love animals too. Please don't come for me.
I don't know. You came
I
straight
felt
out the time. A horse. You were like, you got to try the horse. So right out the gate,
But yeah, so like me and my friend Maria did this food tour in South Korea, and it was like a street food tour. And we go into this restaurant, and they're like for like on this market, you have like a bunch of restaurants kind of like in close proximity that all serve the same thing. But this one, I guess, had been there the longest, or was the tour guide's favorite. But I remember we go in there, we sit down, they bring us some soju, and they pour us all some soju, and then they bring us like little trays for sauces. And then they're like, okay, so who wants to try who wants to try the octopus? And then they don't really say much. There's like, who else like, okay, cool, like
you're thinking
calamari, let's go.
calamari. Woohoo! Let's
So
go. Fry
then
it up.
so then you see like all the tanks of octopus and I'm like, wow, they really like fry them up fresh. No, they literally like pull them out because octopuses regrow their tentacles.
God, that's right. So it's like that's the thing. It's
Yeah,
like you eat it like they're fighters. Like they
yeah.
still
So then
wiggling
they cut
around.
the tentacle off and then it's still moving. So like even after they've cut it into pieces, they're handing you the plate and they're still like moving like some worms on the plate.
See, I
So
don't
you're like
know,
literally
man.
like fighting it and they're still like suction cupping to like to the plate. So you gotta like pull it up. You dip
See,
it in some
that's
egg, you dip it in the sauce, and then you just
see, it looks good on the food channel with the sauces and they're dipping in. It's got the soy sauce, maybe some chili flake,
yeah.
but the fact that you have to fight this food to eat it is
You gotta
just
fight the food.
you gotta fight the food. Like I've seen stories where it's like they get it and like the tentacles maybe just a little too long, and he's eating it and it gets stuck. Like, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
so they tell you that. they're like, you
They
really
tell you
gotta
that.
chew it. Yeah, they're like, you really have to chew it because it will get stuck, and then your food tour is over. Like you're just gonna be
Your
like,
food tour vacation's over. You're done.
you're gonna have octopus in your throat until it stops like sectioning. So
See that like I'm adventurous, but that could be a little. I might just tell him, can you just maybe little oil, fry it up real quick for me?
throw it on the grill.
Just throw it on the grill just for a few minutes. Like I'm not trying to see him. He's looking at me like, come on, buddy. I'm not going down. Yeah. But the thing is, at least you can say you tried it. Was it good? Would you have it again?
I would do it again.
Yeah,
I would
you
do it
would
again.
you would
Yeah, it wasn't bad. It was like chewy and like it wasn't bad. The sauces were great, and then you just
yeah.
throw it back with some soju, and it's a great time.
And it's a wrap. There's no like wiggling like
They
later
did
on like
like little fermented like crabs too. So you're eating like the
okay.
little crabs you'd pick up at the beach. They like ferment them and then like put them in like some chili sauce, and then you're just eating the whole little baby crab.
So all I think is like, okay, the chili sauce, the saltiness, it just burns everything up. It's,
Yeah.
you rock it back with some alcohol,
Yeah, it was really
good to
just
go.
crunchy. Like the crunchiness is what got me because I'm like, wow, I'm really just crunching on some crab shell right
Crunch
now.
on crap. But it was good. See, that's the thing. It's like it's all about the sauces. The sauces,
Yeah.
when it's
See, like I would do
marinating.
the octopus before I would do the crab again.
Really,
Yeah. The crab,
that's
it didn't do it
interesting.
like there was like it was just kind of like I felt like it was just crunchy. Like the
Like a
flavor
potato
was
chip.
cool, but yeah, like no, not like crunching on a shell.
Oh, just you were just
I think it
like
was the shell for me. I was just like, okay,
like in the back of
shelly.
your head, like I'm just eating a shell.
Like,
These
where's the meat? Like,
I
where?
didn't think these were edible.
Sure didn't. I sure didn't.
Wow.
But it was
See,
a great time.
that's the thing about, those experiences is like having those type of experiences of being like, yeah, we went to this little place and I ate a live octopus. Now, how do you find these places? Do you just ask around or you just kind of walk around, see what piques your interest, or do you go on like Yelp and it's like, how do you find restaurants out there, for people?
So the one in Japan was actually totally by accident. Because it was actually before I went to South Korea. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go spend like 10 days with my friend Maria in South Korea. And then I was like, well, I should spend some time alone,
Right. Right. You
So
need a
I
little
was like,
alone time to explore.
just go hop over to Japan. And then I have been to Japan a few times, Tokyo specifically. So I was like, maybe I want to venture out more, right? Like Tokyo is a wonderful city, so much fun, so much to do. But then it's also like there's so much more to Japan. So I was like, let me just go take like a short little trip. And so I took the train about an hour and a half south to the Izu Peninsula, like
Okay.
kind of by Mount Fuji, but like a little bit more, like just the peninsula.
Oh,
And
okay.
I was
Wow.
in this little town, and it was just a super cool town, like very laid back. They had a really dope beach with black sand, and like it was
Wow.
actually kind of warm because they're like, oh yeah, there's like volcanoes, and that's where the
Oh
black
my
sand
gosh.
comes from. So like, yeah, so like you learn so much, and then like they were like, oh yeah, we used to be a huge tourist city, like back in like the 60s and 70s, and then tourism died down. So like you just learn so much, and then they're like, oh yeah, and then like we eat horses out here.
That's just what we do. We got a horse. We got to eat him.
And
There's
then
nowhere
like
to ride.
another really cool restaurant, like I had met some really cool locals, and like one of my best like travel experiences, and we went to this really cool Chinese restaurant. And it's like, you're in Japan, like, you're thinking Japanese food, but then you get to this Chinese restaurant, and they got the whole fish, and we're eating fish eyeballs, and we got like amazing like eggplant and
Like this
like
ain't Pan
Chinese
Express.
wine. Yeah. No, it's not. And like overall just a wonderful, wonderful experience that all just happened like on accident. But like the other ones, I have been trying to do more food tours. So like I'll go online and I'll just search up like the city, and I'll search like food tour in whatever city. And then
Oh,
whatever
dope.
pops up, I kind of just look at like the reviews. And like some of them are like more adventurous than others, and some of them are like more like we're just like basics. So you can kind of
Right.
get
We're
like
like,
a feel for like how adventurous you want to be.
right. Kind
So
of have
that's how we
levels to it.
found, yeah, so that's how we found the one in like South Korea and the
That's
one
dope.
in Hong Kong. If you ever make your way over to Hong Kong, I would highly recommend a food tour because
Okay.
they're, I think they're Cantonese in Hong Kong, like their language. And
Okay, yeah.
so when you try to translate things, it's not a good direct translation. So, you might be trying to order things and then you're going to see something like pig intestines. And you're like, oh, I'm not ordering that because why would I want to just eat some pig intestines? But really, it's just noodles in a peanut sauce and it looks
Also, it's
like pig
complete.
intestines. And so that's why so yeah, they go off of the tour guide, the food tour guide that was telling us. She was like, yeah, here we name a lot of our food based off of what it looks like, not necessarily what it is.
Okay,
And
so
I
it's
would
like
like, you
that.
would never think that.
Right, yeah, because it's like you're thinking like, oh, well, those are noodles, but then to them it like looks like that, so it's like I'm gonna name it that.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I would never have ordered that on my own, but it was an amazing, like the peanut sauce was beautiful. Like so delicious.
I didn't even think of
Yeah.
that, you know. Now when you go to like places like Spain or like, but there's it's a lot of English based now. Places over there when
Mhm.
it's like Mandarin, how is it? Because it's like you can't just. It's a difficult language just to pick up on Duolingo and like
Yeah.
spend like a couple weeks to lose. So when you go over there, are you using a translator, or are you just kind of winging it, or do you try to learn a little bit of the language before you go over there to try to some phrases, or
Yeah.
how do you do that? Like, what do
Yeah,
you do?
so
What is your process?
definitely a few like keywords. Definitely a few keywords like just like, the bathroom, like for the
Right.
bill, like, just like very basic, like they don't even have to be like full sentences for the most part. Like usually if you just say the word, like they're gonna like, okay, foreigner, like we get it. I would
Right.
say like Japan is really nice because they have a lot of things in the English letters. So like
Okay.
even though they have it in like the Japanese, like below it, you'll see it in how it's pronounced in English. So when you're trying to
Okay.
navigate things, it's really easy because you can easily see it like off your phone instead of
Okay.
having to like find the characters and like match those up. You
Right.
so traveling through Tokyo and Japan is really easy because they made it
So
really
it's kind of like a user friendly more so out there than
very user friendly for English speakers. Very, very, very helpful. And like Google Maps in Tokyo is great. Like it shows all
yeah.
of the trains and it'll tell you like
Oh,
what
dope.
platform to go to. So it makes it like very easy through a chaotic situation, especially if you've never
Yeah.
done like public transportation and you're going to
Right.
Tokyo for the first time and you're like, what have I gotten
Yeah,
myself
because
into?
right, because all I think of is just like, so much technology, so many words, and like, in other languages, like you can kind of like Spanish, you can kind of figure out the gist of it, or
Yeah.
French or whatnot, but over there it's like completely different symbols. And you're like,
Yeah.
wow, yeah. And I'm just thinking like taking the train over there. It's like, what is going on? Like so many people and just
Yeah.
chaos of just stuff. So it's like
Yeah, so
that's
they
good to
really made
know.
it user friendly, I think, and especially in Hong Kong too. So a lot of people speak English in Hong Kong as well.
Okay.
At least
Oh,
like the
nice.
people that we came across, because it's a very they have a lot of people there for business.
Okay, right. That's what I would think
Yeah.
is like somewhere like that, there definitely would be a lot more, English speaking, or even they would know a
Mhm.
lot of, English where it wouldn't be just solely like their language when you go to a smaller place and it's like,
Yeah.
this is it.
Yeah, and what was really cool about the food tour is it was like a food tour in the local like area, so we're going through like local markets and she's speaking to
Nice.
them in, their language and then ordering the food for us and then telling us what it is in English because she's like, "Oh yeah, most of them here, they don't speak English because they're not very like foreigners aren't coming over here." So
Right,
that was
right.
really cool too because you're just like really sitting with like all the people that live there like, "Oh, this
You're
is so
in
dope."
there. Like you're
Yeah, and
with the
it's such a 180 to like the tourist like part that you see where all of the tourists and all of the foreigners are because it's all upscale and
Yeah,
expensive and like really nice and then like you get back to the back alley streets and all like the street little like stalls and you're like, wow, this is like the heart of Hong Kong right
yeah,
here.
yeah. See,
So it
that's
was
so
just a
cool.
really beautiful experience.
That's so cool.
You wouldn't really necessarily know how to get there or to go there if you're just by yourself as like
Right.
without a guide.
Right, yeah, because it's like there's so much, and you don't know what, like Google Maps is going to show you. They're not necessarily
Yeah.
going to show you the little mom and pop grandma shop that's, they're back there
Mhm.
throwing down. They're going to show you all
Yeah.
the, the 5-star restaurants or, things like that.
Yeah. So I would
That's so
say,
cool.
I would say, especially if you're going to a country where English, I mean, is not the primary language and it's not like if they have different characters that you're not familiar with seeing, I would definitely recommend a food tour just to like
Food tour.
get like inch in there because you never know what you're gonna find and you never know how translations are gonna go. Like even if you translated things, like the pig intestines.
Yeah.
So I
Right.
feel like that's like a huge thing too, or especially if I know somebody, I'll
Yeah.
ask them like if I know someone who like has visited before or if they are like of that nationality, I'll be like, "Hey, like what kind of foods like do your parents like to eat like if they didn't grow up there? Like what kind of food would you
Right.
recommend since I'm going to like the country that you originate from?"
Right. Right.
And usually that's
That's
like a
totally a
big
good thing.
helpful too. Yeah, because it really helps to just kind of like narrow that down and like try
Yeah.
like actual traditional foods, which is really cool.
Right.
So
Yeah.
because yeah, it can be really, you're like looking at it and you're like, dang, this should be easy to correlate, but like in my
Right. Yeah.
brain, it's all like I can no longer
Right,
read.
because it's like intimidating. It's like if you don't like when you
It
go to places and
is.
you don't necessarily have a plan and you're just like so overwhelmed. And it's like that was kind of an issue that happened to us when we were traveling. Is like I knew like a lot of some spots, but at the time, my wife was vegan, and so we were like trying to find places that kind of fit her veganism.
Yeah.
We got to places and it was like, well, that looks good. And it's like, well, that looks good, but I don't know, is that a tourist trap? And it's like, but I don't know this one. And we wanted to find places that we knew that like was a local spot and we didn't, go there and say, oh yeah, we went to there. And they're like, well, you shouldn't have gone there. They get everyone there. So it's like, I think taking a food tour is such a smart idea because it's like, that's where it starts. It's like by the time you finish sightseeing. It's like time to eat, and then it's like, what are we gonna eat? Because it's like we're all the way out here. We don't want McDonald's.
Yes.
We don't want our creatured comforts. It's like we want to experience something, but it's like where do we go? So yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought about doing a food tour. That's definitely something that next
I
time I
know,
would probably
right?
think of. You know.
Yeah, and then it's like you don't have to get full portions either. So if you are new to that cuisine and you're like, I don't even know if I'm gonna like any of this, like maybe like, my palate's not there, then you don't
Yeah.
feel bad about, the food if you don't like it because you got a small little taste sized portion
Right.
and you're like, okay, I either like it or I don't, and then I can get it
Right.
again, or I can be like, thank God
You're
this
like,
was
this
small.
ain't, yeah, this ain't for me. Like, yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, I think a lot of people from the States that they go to different countries and they eat something. And I think they're in their mind, they're under the impression of like, it's the same way where if you get something that's not yours or you don't like it here, it's like easily to be like, oh, I don't like it, return it. And they're like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh, we're so sorry. There, it's a
There.
little bit different. It's like,
Nah.
that's what you ordered. It's like, "Oh, I don't like it. You're gonna eat it,
Yeah.
you know? And I think having a food tour is good because it kind of eliminates that and being like the typical American that's like, "Ooh, I don't, because it kind of it makes us look bad because it's like we're not all
Yeah.
like that. Like, I'll try the food if I don't like it. Like I'm not gonna say, oh, this is send it back. It's
Yeah.
like, well, I guess I'll try this now. I didn't order this, but I'll try it.
Yeah, and
Because it,
sometimes it's like you go to these countries and you just kind of order something and you don't really know what you're ordering.
right. Yeah, you're just like,
You're
I'll
just like,
say,
all right,
right, I'll take
sounds good.
the horseback mountain. What?
Yeah,
And then you get it and you're like, I don't know what this is, but I don't want to be
yeah,
disrespectful. And, they take it back and they spit it and give me something different.
yeah. I think that was a little bit of a culture shock too, like seeing for the first time that like how catered we are, especially in like the service industry in the America when it
Yeah,
comes to food. Like you're really not sending that food back in other countries. Like
right,
they're gonna look at you and be like, "So do you want it to go? Like you're still paying for this. We're not
right.
like you ordered
Yeah,
it
you're
just
not,
because you don't like it."
yeah. Right. And I tell everyone that, they're always curious about traveling. I say one of the main things I say is you don't want to be that person that's like, oh, I don't like this, or like ask if
Mhm.
there's a substitute of something that's not even on the menu. Like, oh, do you have this kind of milk? Do you have it? It's like this is what they have.
Yeah.
They're not here looking for a Yelp review or to follow them
Mhm.
on Instagram. They're not here to be your friend. They're here to serve you your food and disappear. And I think that's one thing I love about Europe is like when they give you your food, they just disappear. They don't come
Mhm.
over and they're like, "How's everything doing? Here's your check. I'm just gonna leave it here. It's not a rush, And it's like clearly you want me to get out of the off the
Yeah.
table so you can have someone else there. It's like, here's your food. If you need me, try to find me. And it's like
Yeah.
I respect that. I can respect that. Like, hey, as Anthony Bourdain used to say, like when you order a coffee in another country, that table is your real estate now. There is
Mhm.
that is yours for the until you're ready to go. Whereas here, you order a coffee and then it's like you see them kind of looking like, all right, are they going to get up from that table? We got a line, of people that need this table. Hey, you need anything? Or you're just going to sit here? Here's the check, But there, it's like we're not going to bother you, and I love that,
Mhm.
about that. It's like I can enjoy the food, I can eat in peace, I can just take my time, and we don't really cherish that over here. Everything is about like, oh,
Mhm.
make sure you follow us, 5 stars. Here's a tip,
Yeah.
leave it, and I think that's what I like about traveling so much is because we're so used to that catering, like you said, of being catered to everything and everyone being so worried about what they think and, oh my gosh, they're going to give us a bad review. Like, they don't care about that over there. It's like, you don't like the food, you're still going to pay for it. Sorry, you ordered
But
it,
we
not
still made
me.
it.
Right, we made it. We sacrificed the food that we had. The chef went out today and bought this. You're gonna say you don't like it? Nah, you're gonna finish it.
So, continuing our food conversation and being such a foodie, how is it traveling through Europe for you?
Oh my gosh. I mean, it's one of those things where it's like I try to find like I do try to find street vendors like a good old shawarma, a
Yeah,
little
for sure.
kebab on the street. Sign me all the way up. That is like
Yes.
the best thing, especially if you're like, you're doing like some sightseeing and you're on your own and you're going to places and just exploring and it's like, okay, I need to eat something and you see them whipping up some shawarma
Mhm.
over there. It's like, I know that's
Yep.
going to be amazing and it's going to be cheap too. And so I go there and it's like, 250. I got this. He's just fully loaded it with everything on there. And it's amazing. Like I said earlier, I try to find the least amount of English when I go
Mhm.
somewhere to a restaurant, so going through Europe or whatever, I try to find the spots that aren't necessarily 5 star because of service or the food. Like
Mhm.
if the place has like 4 stars or it smells good and it looks clean,
Yeah.
cool. I'm gonna try it. I'm not looking for some ritzy place. Like I just want to eat
Mhm.
somewhere where I know that this local he just finished work and this is his normal spot he goes to. I'm there. And going through Europe, I mean, everywhere. There has never been a time going through Europe, whether it's Spain or Italy, that I've got something and not enjoyed it.
Mm.
It's just the flavors of even like a McDonald's at in Paris. It's not like a McDonald's here. I mean, it's like you go
Mm.
there and they've got a cafe set up in there. They've got macaroons and they've got, muffins and you're like, McDonald's is this? Like, we don't have this. Like it looks like a fine dining. Like people go there like I had met some friends a long time ago and it was like late at night and everyone was drinking and having
Mhm.
wine and all that and they're like, oh, we want to eat something, and I'm thinking they're gonna take me to this like little hole in the wall spot. They're like, oh, let's go to McDonald's, and I'm like, McDonald's? I want to go to McDonald's? I can go to McDonald's. And we went and I went to McDonald's and I was like, oh my gosh, like this isn't McDonald's, this is a whole different experience here. So
Wow.
it's like it's one it's McDonald's over there is something that people go and have a dinner. It's not considered like fast food. Like people go
Really?
sit and eat. I mean, like I said, the one in Paris was just like you walk in there and they've got a whole bakery in there and it says
That's
McDonald's and
crazy.
it's like Mint Cafe and they if you want like a frappuccino they put it in glass for you and I'm like, they don't do that. Ice cream machine's
Glass.
always broke. The ice cream machine's always broke at the McDonald's by my house and here we got glass and espresso and frappuccinos. I'm like, what are we doing wrong, man? I'm like, what is going on? So yeah, it's like, when if you're walking, because like if I'm out going somewhere and I'm on a mission and I want to see stuff, I'm gonna find a quick little spot that I can go like just to grab a baguette of French bread, or like
Mm,
just a sandwich to walk and eat. And I think
yeah,
it's way more accessible in places like that, because like you can just grab a sandwich, grab a bottle of wine with your friend, and go just sit at a park
yeah,
and just kind of enjoy. And like they show it in movies and things like that, but it's actually you can actually do that here. You might get stopped by a cop, and you're like, are you drinking and
why do you got
driving?
that
Like,
bottle of wine?
yeah, why are you drinking? You can't drink in public like this, but over there it's such a very communal type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Another cool experience, we were at a cafe at night, and it was like 40 or so people, all in the range of like mid-20s to 30s. And when you looked around, nobody's on their phone. Like
Love
everyone is
that.
so engaged in the moment. I mean, talking about politics, talking about their lives. Everyone is just so invested in the conversation with their
Yeah.
friends, whereas no
Oh,
one's worried about social media and stuff. Everyone's like
mm-hmm.
has a charcuterie, they've got wine, got people over there smoking their cigarettes, just talking. And it's just a completely
Yeah.
refreshing thing where it's like you forget like how caught up we are and just always being on our
Mm-hmm.
phones, taking pictures of everything. Whereas there, it's like they take their phones, they put it next to them, and they're engaged. And it's like you look around, you're like,
Wow.
wow, this is how it used to
Yeah.
be, like this, and this is how it should be, because it was such a refreshing thing of like, boy, everyone's actually interested and
Mm-hmm.
invested in conversation. Where you don't really get that
Wow.
as much over here. You might get a pocket, but at the end of the day, everyone's on their phone, like, yeah, so yeah, oh, you said that, yeah, that type of thing. Whereas it's not like
Yeah.
that.
Or
And
even
that's
like
a
a quick
great.
catch up with your friend. You're still doing like chores on the phone and you're
Exactly.
never like focused. You never
Right, you're
lock in.
never in it, and then yeah, exactly. You never lock in, and then like if you meet up with a friend, and it's like the whole time, it's like you're like, oh yeah, and so, and see this reel, and they're like showing you, stuff on their phone. It's like you're still on the phone, you're not
Yeah.
really talking, but there it's like, no, phones is just that's to
Wow.
call someone or emergency. But it was a really cool thing, and that's what I encourage anybody to do, is like to check out the nightlife in places like that, and
Mm-hmm.
it'll show you that it's not all about everywhere else isn't about phones and stuff like that. There's
Yeah.
still places that everyone's invested in a good conversation.
Mm-hmm. That's beautiful to see.
Yeah, yeah,
Like working on cruises to take it kind of 180 to the
yeah.
cruises. How is it being like I always wondered, I've only been on one cruise, but I always wondered like how is it like working on it? Like what is like the work-life balance on that? Like do you still get to
So
enjoy ports or
yeah, so what I do is I'm considered a guest entertainer or a fly
Mm,
on. So
okay.
we fly on in the middle, sometimes in the middle of the cruise. So if it's like a
Mhm.
7 day to maybe a 10 day cruise, we'll fly in on the middle of that
Okay.
cruise. So like maybe day 3 or 4 in a random port. We have like a day off, and then we do one 58-minute show in the
Mm,
theater. And
mhm.
then we're done after that for the rest of the cruise. So I'm considered a guest on there. So I'm considered like a regular passenger that
Okay.
sometimes has crew privileges. Like once in a while, I
Mhm.
might be able to go to the crew bar, or I can go down and
They have a
buy
crew bar.
something. Oh yeah, so the with cruise ships, I've been saying it for decades, is that they need to have a reality show about the night, the crew life, and then they don't, because they'll probably change a lot of things, but it's literally like people think that like the crew, like after once everyone's done serving the passengers and things like that, that every night they're down there just raging and it's just a full on rate. No,
Yeah.
it's literally like if you were at home and you worked a full shift, what do? You come home, you turn
Start
on the TV,
snoring.
you start snoring. You might have a little nightcap drink or whatever. It's literally the same thing down there. It's like they're down there, they're talking about some of the passengers of what,
Yep.
and they're just down there with their
Yeah.
friends. Once in a while they'll have crew parties, and they can get pretty active. They can definitely go crazy. But for what I do is different. I always say people that want to work on a ship, like say if you want to work in administration or if you're, you know, a dancer or a singer, I think it's a great way to see the world if you don't
Hmm.
have a lot of things at home tying you down. Like if you don't, if you're someone that's younger that just wants to travel, that's okay with having like the dorm life because they do have to
Hmm.
room with other people. You know, sometimes four people. Like a lot of the people that are crew members that are a little bit lower in on the
Hmm.
I'd say the totem pole. You know, they might be the people that do the laundry or the cleaning. Like they might have to room with three, four other people in one room. If you're like an officer or like in the cast, like one of the dancers or singers, you might have to room with, one other person. But if you're young, you don't have really anything tying you at home. Like you don't have any connections or, things that are really holding you. Cruising is great because it's like
Hmm.
you get paid to eat, it's room and board, everything is all taken care of, and you're in a port every day. Me, I can go off in every port, whether I,
Yeah.
regardless of anything. Sometimes if you're a crew member, you might have to wait a month until certain
Hmm.
credentials kick in
Hmm.
for you to go off. Now, if you're like an American or maybe Australian or British, yeah, you can get right off the ship and go to
Hmm.
port. But a lot of people from other like India or the Philippines, they have to wait till like another until their
I
color is
see.
like green for them to go off and have those privileges. But to work on a cruise ship, it could be a hit or miss because
Okay.
sometimes if the crew, like the people that are in charge there for like the morale of the crew, they're too strict or whatever, it can be a horrible contract. If it's
Mm.
you have a great group of people, then your contract is fantastic because a lot of these crew members from the arts to the whatever to fitness or fitness instructors where they're on for 6 to 9 months
Oh, wow.
on the ship, right? So it's they're on me. I'm only on for pop in for a week, maybe two
Hmm.
weeks, and then I fly off and go to another ship. They're on for months at a time. Some, it's their first contract, and it's you see them at the beginning and they're fresh. They're like, oh wow, cruise ship life, and then you come back in like 5 months and they're chain smokers. They drink all the time. They've gained weight because that lifestyle
Dang.
can
Yeah.
really if you're
Catch
if you don't
up.
have your head yeah, if you don't have your head on straight and you're a goal oriented person, it is a lifestyle that can drain you of your creativity because it's
I
like,
see.
oh, okay, after work, I can just go down to the bar and buy dollar beers all night and I'm just, you're just swiping your card. It's
Yeah.
not like you're actually pulling out cash. So it's like
Hmm.
you're making money, you go down there and you spend $100 on your, alcohol and you just do that every night. You can, you
Yeah,
use that
I see.
motivation and so yeah, so I always say if someone has a good head on their shoulder, they're using it as a tool for content to just experience of traveling, to see new
Hmm.
places, meet new people, great, awesome. But if you're someone that's a partier or just doing it just to get out the house or to get out your city, it's gonna beat you up after a while.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
But
good.
it,
I could definitely see that.
Yeah, but if you're someone that's like in hospitality or you
Hmm.
enjoy meeting people, you enjoy keeping yourself motivated, it's an awesome thing. It's a fantastic thing because I have friends that they did the Alaska run for like 6 months. Now they did a crossing. Now they're all in Europe. They're in China, one week they're here, the next week they're doing overnights in Italy and Greece and so it's something that you couldn't really experience on your own because here it's
Yeah.
like they're in back and forth to the Mediterranean for the whole month, whole
Hmm.
6 months. So it's like every day they're in a port, every day they're in, they're in Italy every week they get to go
Wow.
to their favorite little shop, the restaurant, or they have overnights here. So it's a cool way to see the world quickly and
Yeah.
without having to spend money to see the world.
Yeah, no kidding. It sounds
Yeah.
like you kind of have the best deal out of it though, just hopping in and hopping out with guest
Yeah, it's
privileges and all that.
right. It's definitely a good setup, because I've been doing it. I've been doing ships since I was a little, but constantly for the past maybe 20 years. I've
Hmm.
been doing cruise ships. So I've seen ships change and things like that. But when you have a great itinerary, when you're
Hmm.
going to Europe or they have an overnight, or like Canada, Victoria, Canada, they're there until midnight. So it's like you get off in the morning
Yeah.
and you've got just all day to just
Oh,
do whatever. So I try to find record stores, I try to find vintage thrift shops and things like that, stuff that wouldn't normally do in any other places. But that's, yeah, like I said, that's a benefit of doing ships is that you can see the world, and you don't have to pay to go to these places. You just get off, do place here. You go to this one day you're in Italy, the next day you're in Croatia, then here and there. So it's a cool lifestyle like that.
have you been to Croatia?
Once, long, long time ago. Awesome. It was what I remember. It was beautiful. It was just a just everything over there is so historic. I mean,
Mm.
they keep things there, like buildings from like AD this, it's 1400, everything is
Wow.
just so preserved. Whereas here, it's like as soon as something gets like 100 years old, they're like, let's put an apartment building there. Or there, it's like they just keep everything. They
Hmm.
might build around it, or they might build a little, bar inside of it, but it's like they keep things so pristine. But Croatia was really a cool. But a place I'd recommend. Another place I'd recommend is Poland. I love
Poland.
Poland. That was
Really?
Poland was the food was delicious. It was
Really?
inexpensive. Oh my gosh! Like we ordered what do we get? We
Like
got
a Polish
two
hot dog?
large. No, no, we
Is
get
that like
Polish. But they did have them though. They
okay?
had
So
some
it's
Polish
really
hot
like a
dogs.
Polish thing. Because I always
Yeah,
wondered when I heard a Polish, I was like, do they really eat this there, or is this just
I
like
mean,
a joke?
they do a lot of sauerkraut. No, not sauerkraut. They do a lot of dill, a lot of potatoes,
Mm,
boiled
okay, okay.
potatoes. But what I had gotten like a pasta, a beer, some bread. I think my dad had gotten a large pizza or some pasta, and all that came to about $10.
Dang.
Yeah. And then like if you go to like a liquor store and you want to buy a bottle of wine, it was like $2.50 in America in US currency. So it's
Okay.
like your dollar goes a lot farther there.
Yeah.
And they've got music is plentiful, like 7 days a week in
Really?
Krakow in their square.
Wow.
They've got all these underground little clubs, little jazz clubs. So it's like you have like traditional jazz and you have like pop music, you have a rock cover band. It's like going on 7 days a week out there. And it was just such a cool city. The people are friendly, food's delicious, and a lot of culture there. And so Poland is definitely a spot that I would highly recommend going.
I would have never guessed. I would have never been like, oh yeah, all the countries you've been to, Poland is up there. I
Poland,
never would have.
we were in a little town also called like Zwijeniec, and it's just a small little village that has like a I think it had like a brewery or like a vodka brewery or something out there. But just a small little place, and it was just the nicest thing. We were out there for a music. We were hosting a 10-day music workshop. So it's like
Oh,
all like
dope.
a lot of the local people that wanted to sing or learn how to sing. They
Hmm.
did this workshop, and then at the end of the week, they do a little concert for the whole community. And so we were part of
What?
that, and then we did our show at the end of that. But we would kind of coach them of like how to sing, what to sing, kind of stage presence and things like that. And it was like a little village that came together, like a couple hundred people at night came out and had food, and it was just a little festival. But Poland was the
Wow.
coolest place. I loved it.
What an
But yeah, out of
experience.
all the places, Poland, that's another place that I would definitely go back to. And it's inexpensive. Like when you find a place that you can enjoy and then still have good food, and it's not breaking the bank. That's always a place
Hmm.
for me. You know, I'm not about going to these expensive places and spending all this money. Like I want to enjoy myself and have a good time, but I don't want to come home and be like, "Whoa, yeah, we won't have to. We can't go on a trip in another couple of years. We got to save up again." I like to go places, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, we can enjoy and have a good time." So
Yeah.
Poland,
Like, okay. I'll
Poland
have
is
to write that one down because it was not on my list, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, Poland, Krakow, and Virginians. Yeah, it's cool. Like pierogies, and we had a
I do like
friend
pierogies.
out there that's yeah, we had a friend out there that pretty much organized everything, and he took us back to his place with his wife, and she made homemade pierogies, and it's just this nice little Polish little apartment that they had, and
Wow.
she like made about like 30 pierogies.
Egg.
Delicious. I was like, I'm not leaving. And Prague, Poland and Prague.
I have heard good things about Prague, yes.
Prague is cool, and another inexpensive spot too for what you get. I mean, the again, the food was great. They had this like little food hall kind of buffet thing where like you get all these different meats and stuff, and it was like $8 for everything and a big old beer. It was. I'm like, yes,
Okay.
this is what I live for.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I definitely need
yeah.
to venture over to Europe more. I've only been to Italy and London, so I'm like, I haven't really experienced anything.
But I mean, there's so many places. I mean, you got so many places to go to. I mean, you got Argentina, you got Chile, you got, you know, it's yeah. There's so many awesome places to go to, and
So many.
those are the two that I would definitely frequent. Like
Okay.
if I could just go right now, it's definitely Prague and Poland, are my
Okay. I'll
two of
write
my
those
favorite
down.
spots. Yeah,
So what are your
yeah.
favorite spots in the US? Because you've done
Favorite
some, you've
spots.
obviously traveled, right, for music in the
Yeah,
US. Yeah.
yes, I not as much, but I'd say probably one of my favorite states is Boston. I do like Boston.
Really?
Yeah, I love Boston. I don't know, it's like a combination of to me it gives me the closest thing to a European kind of vibe because it's very
Okay.
Irish
Yeah.
and the food's again delicious. Music scene is
Hmm.
incredible with Berkeley College of Music there, and it's just it feels like a college town, but not like
Hmm.
super partyish college town. Very sophisticated kind of college town. But Boston is one of my favorite places. Miami in some aspects of it.
Hmm.
I think I like Miami. I think I like Miami just for the fact that I've been going there since I was little. I have family and friends out there, so it's like more of like a second home
Oh.
to me. Arizona, like Sedona, Utah, love to camp.
Mm-hmm.
So those are a lot of the places that we like to go for the camping. We did during the pandemic, we took a road trip up from Vegas up to Seattle, and
Oh, beautiful.
Seattle, yeah, Seattle's another one of my favorite spots. But yeah, we camped all the way up till Seattle until we got a Airbnb up there, and yeah, I'd say Seattle, Boston, and Miami are like my favorite places. The South is cool; they've got some good barbecue out there,
They did.
but well, for me, as far as like a lot of cool cultural things, I like those places. Seattle, I like because you've got the city, but then
Hmm.
you've got all the camping and the mountains and the ocean, and I think it's just such a
Yes.
unique looking place because
Hmm.
it's like you
And it's
got
so
this gorgeous
green.
city.
Oh.
Yeah, it's so green, and you've got the water, you've got the sea, you've got the mountains, and then you're just a couple hours from Canada, the Canadian
Hmm.
border. So it's like if you want to go and make a couple week trip to go to Seattle and then go up to Vancouver, you can do that. And so that's why I think that's why I like Seattle is it's just the combination of everything there is so cool.
Yeah. I'll always rep the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah. So now are you originally from Pacific Northwest or
Yeah.
originally from so
Yeah.
do you
So
grew up in Seattle?
across the Puget Sound in Bremerton.
Oh, okay, okay. I've never been there, but I've seen pictures and it's
Hmm.
just I love the rainy
Yeah.
weather.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's real nice until, that fourth or fifth month hits, and then you're like, I really could
That's what
use
I
the
heard. It's
sun
like
again.
right, and that's what people say. It's like I there was a time I wanted to move up to Seattle. People were like, but it's gonna be rainy. And then I like read that it doesn't really rain that much. It's just cloudy all the time.
It's super
But
cloudy. I would say I think it like rains frequently, but not like long durations. You
okay,
know what I mean?
okay, I
So
got you.
like I
Right.
remember I left Seattle back in 2017, and I think either
Okay.
2016 or 2017 was like the year that they broke the record for the amount of consecutive rain days. where it rains
Really?
every day, and it was like 100 something days.
My gosh, 100 days. See, I look at that and I'm like, wow, that's 100 days of being able to be cozy.
I know, 100 days in a row of being cozy. You talking about losing your motivation?
See, and
You,
I guess because being in Vegas and LA, like since we don't get that much rain, it's like to me,
yeah,
like any little bit of rain, I'm like, but I can see how 100 days of rain after like maybe the 10th day, you're like, all right, let's get some sun.
yeah.
Everything is
You're like, I've
wet.
watched all the Lifetime movies I can on the couch. Like, I don't know what else to do.
I've watched every series. I'm done. Like, give me some sun. So I can see that. So now, when you moved, was it because you just wanted to change, or was it work, or you were just like, I'm out of here, no more
Yeah,
rain for
so it
me?
was for college. Yeah, that's when I moved
Okay.
to the Midwest. So I went to college in the Midwest, stayed out there for some years, and then once I started working and got my experience, I was like, all right, now it's time to leave the Midwest. It's too cold.
So you went from
Wet.
rainy to
Way too
cold.
cold. So cold. I will never forget walking outside and it was like 0 or 2 degrees and the
My
wind's there. It's the
gosh.
wind. Like it's
Wait,
truly
so
the
what
wind.
part
If
of
it wasn't
Midwest?
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Okay.
Yeah. So, those winds, I remember my eyes were open and the wind, I said, oh, I think I just lost my eyeballs
It's like I can't open my eyes.
so much. And yeah, God, those
That's
are
like
some long
Chicago or
winters.
something like that. Yeah. See,
Yeah,
the
because
the
yeah, it's
winters.
only like 3 hours south.
Right. And see, I've never really experienced any winters. I mean, like just probably within the past 12, 13 years was like the first time I saw actually snow falling from the sky.
Dang.
And it was out here in Vegas. And it happened to be one of those like really cold years and cold months. And it started snowing. And I went outside. I'm like, oh gosh, it's snow coming down. Because normally growing up in California, like anytime you see
Yeah.
like white stuff coming from the sky, it's because of the brush fire, and that's
Yeah.
ash coming. That's ash coming down. So it's like
You're
to
so
see that
right.
it was like snow. I was like, oh my gosh, it's snowing, and we've got a couple of snow days out here in
Mhm.
Vegas where it's like mind blowing because I don't get a chance to experience that. My dad, he grew up in Connecticut, so he's experienced snows, and he left there back in the
Yeah.
70s because of the winters and all that kind of stuff. And then my mom, growing up in Memphis, she didn't really see that much snow growing up.
Yeah.
Growing up in Southern California, if we wanted to see snow, we'd have to go up into the mountains or something like that.
Yeah.
So to see it like coming down and like a little snow, I can make like a small little snow angel for a few minutes before it melts. I was like, wow, it's really snowing, you know. So I can't even imagine like having to warm your car up or like shovel snow or
Man, it was horrid. The ice too,
no clue.
I feel
Yeah,
like
like
St.
the ice,
Louis,
I don't
you
know.
really you really didn't get that much snow. Like there was maybe like a week or two. I feel like I remember
Yeah,
getting snow, but it was the ice. It was always icy. And then
such a slipping.
the summers are hot and humid. So it's like you get a nice little week of like spring and fall, and then it goes from freezing cold to just hot
And it
as no get out.
just no, like you stand in the shade and you're sweating. There's no way to beat it because of that
Yes.
humidity.
Yes, and then you're
That's
in St. Louis and it's like there's no water unless you want to drive south and then you got to go to this like dirty everyone loves that river, but I it's like it's dirty and I don't really want
yeah,
to be in
that
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 water.
yeah. Now, is there like in St. Louis, or is it like what is the main attraction, or like what is there to what is there to do? Not much, I guess.
No,
So
so
St.
I
Louis
will
isn't that?
say I was there for school.
You say that was it.
I was there for school. But I will say they are doing better. Like they do have I think they have a rugby team now. I
Okay,
think.
okay,
And I know they just built like some $1 million like soccer stadium. So they've got like a professional
okay.
soccer team now. And
Oh,
I
nice.
think they're trying to revitalize it, but I know St. Louis
Right.
is mostly like, you've got a lot of hospital systems there, like really good hospital systems. So you've got a lot of healthcare professionals, and a lot of like finance people. And then you actually have a lot of people will come there for I think it's Bush or Budweiser. They have like one of their main factories there.
Oh, okay,
So
okay.
like a
Now,
lot of people will come there.
Is St. Louis the one with the arch, right?
Yeah,
Okay, yeah. See,
it is.
I have been there. I went there. Well, I was only there for the day, and I remember that. I remember walking to that and being like, "Oh, that's the arch. That's a lot bigger than I thought it
Yeah.
was."
Yeah, it is really big, and then it's like right on the
Yeah,
Mississippi. You know,
exactly.
it's not bad. It's technically a big city, but it feels more like a small city. You know, it's
That's yeah.
just
That's kind of what it felt like. It was like a. It was like it was big enough. Like it was
hmm
like that was like the right amount. It would still kind of felt like a small town with little
yeah.
big city qualities of it.
hmm
But yeah, what I remember of it, it was like it was a real chill place. Like there was nothing
Yeah.
super hectic. It was like, yeah, we're in the
Yeah.
Midwest.
Like I would never go back, but
They ain't gonna see me out there again.
like
It
I
was
really have no
cool for a
desire
little
to
bit
ever go back.
to go
If I gotta get on a flight, I'm going somewhere
right.
else.
We connected and we going somewhere else. Now it's replacing the
Thank you for
states
what
that
it
like
gave me. It gave me some
right.
college
It's like
degrees. It did what it
right
needed.
there you go. Right, it served its purpose, and now we can move on. Now,
Yes.
is there any place in a place? Is there any place in the states that you wanted to go to or haven't been, or like, oh, I'm curious, I've never been to that state.
Man. So
Or like that.
I did St. Louis, and then after St. Louis, I moved to the Northeast in Connecticut, funny enough.
Okay. Oh,
So I
wow.
lived in
That's
Connecticut
funny.
for a year, and then I lived in Massachusetts for a year, but it was Southern Mass,
Oh,
not
okay.
Boston.
Oh, okay. Right.
And
Dang.
so I did the Northeast, and it was cool while I was there, but then the winters, it was just like,
Creep in. You're
and
like,
as much as it's cool to visit, some of the southern states, I don't particularly see myself living there,
right.
just
Yeah. Oh,
so
I feel it.
so like really,
It's like,
yeah, it's really just like I think I could live in New York,
yeah. Okay. New
given
York.
the right, like I feel like New York is dope, really dope
Yeah.
city, and then I could really enjoy living in LA. I really enjoy living in LA.
Yeah.
I could also see
Yeah.
myself going back to Seattle at some point.
Yeah.
It's just so hard to like leave LA now that I'm here. It just has
It
everything
is.
and it's such a good hub,
Yeah.
It just
Right. It's like that's where everyone comes to. That's where all the business, whatever you need, it's right there.
it is.
Everything like in the middle of the country, it's like anytime someone thinks of the states, they think of Seattle, LA, Vegas, New York, and then Miami. It's like everything in the
And
middle,
maybe
which I'm sure they
Chicago.
has a lot. Yeah, maybe Chicago, and it's like everything in the middle might have some cool things to offer, but it's like no one ever really goes there because it's like
Yeah.
more of the same kind of until you get to either way
Mhm.
east or way west. And that's when it like really changes. It's like you
Yeah.
go to Memphis or it's like yeah, it's cool stuff, but then it's like you go outside of that to New York and it's like whoa, this is another planet out
Yeah.
here, or LA, and it's like whoa, this is where everyone wants to travel to. Now, have
Yes.
you been out to Hawaii?
No, actually, I haven't. I've been a lot of places, but not Hawaii.
Yeah, not,
You hear a lot about being mindful as a tourist, right? You want to go places that, kind of want you there. And I feel like I've seen a lot of, we don't really want the tourists here. Like they're really pushing out, the native Hawaiians. And,
oh yeah,
so
it's
for me,
horrible.
yeah, so like for me, I want like when I do finally go to Hawaii, I want it to be in a more sustainable way or like where it's like,
Yeah,
a Hawaiian family is like hosting me or, they own like a B&B or a hotel and like I really want it to be like for the local people, not like these huge
yeah.
corporations that are like buying up everything and pushing people out of their homes, you
Right,
know?
right. And that's it because it's like is sad because everything is extremely expensive. They're building these like multi-billion-dollar
hmm
apartment complex that like one lady told me she was taking us somewhere and she was like those apartments right there, those cost $10,000 a month to
That's
live
insane.
there. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And she was like, yeah, they're really kind of pushing us out. Like we can't afford to live here anymore. Like we have to
Yeah.
fly to the mainland, LA or Vegas or Utah to live because out there it's just too expensive everything, and it is sad because it's like it's such a beautiful place, but it's so inundated with these resorts and this high rise, that high rise, that it really takes away from the natural beauty of Hawaii because
Yeah.
it's gorgeous, but then it's like, gosh,
And I will say,
unfortunately,
once
these
you
people
start
can't.
like once I start seeing high rises all over, like you've ruined the landscape. You know what I
Yeah, it's
mean?
done.
Like it's
Yeah,
no
you
longer the beauty that it was because now I have all these
right.
buildings in the way of what was a
Yeah,
beautiful scenery and like I don't know.
right.
Yeah, it's just
They're
like
they're
they don't
tearing.
understand.
Yeah, they tear down these beautiful trees that have been here for millions of years,
Yes.
and just to build a new high rise that the locals
Mhm.
can't afford that. The average
Yeah.
person can't afford that. These are for like people flying in from different countries that are want to live here and have their Hawaiian resort type thing. But yeah, it is tough. But I totally agree. It's like when you go somewhere that you feel as though tourism is okay and they're not trying to like we don't want you guys we don't want you
Yeah.
guys here, like we want this to be our place, and I get it. I totally get it.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's just like a personal thing that I was trying to be mindful of. Like to each their own. Like I don't judge anyone for wherever you travel. Like everyone has their own
Right.
priorities, and you can always do
Yeah.
things in a way that helps out, right? But yeah, so I
Yeah,
think
for
it would
sure.
just be more mindful. And then I also know it's expensive to go out there. Like the
Yeah,
flight from LA
it
is cheap.
is.
But then you start looking at places to stay and it's like New York all over again. It's like, why would I go
Yeah,
there and then spend
it
thirty
is.
dollars on a meal that's probably not even good?
Right, exactly. And then it's like you're trying to get yourself around the places, because it's like that's another thing. It's like
Mhm.
you want to go to the local spots, but then you're like, but I got an Uber there. And it's like that Uber is
Yeah,
like 40, $50. And then like a taxi is this. And you're like, man, I'm spending so much money. This is day one. I haven't done
yeah.
anything.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
I heard that they make it really hard for you to like leave that very like tourist like hotel circle from like the people that I've talked to that have been there, where they're like, yeah, it's
Yeah.
really hard
Yeah.
to
It
actually
is.
adventure out
Yeah. Because
unless
it
you're
is,
like
it
renting
is
a
tough.
car.
Right. If you're renting a car or you're like staying at an Airbnb that's more in like a tropical, that's a local area, but it is not that convenient of a place to get around
Hmm.
without having a car. Because like you can walk, like if you're in Honolulu, like yeah, it's cool to walk around, go to the beach, but it's a tourist trap all the
Yeah,
way down. You're spending, I think that one of their cocktails is like $22 for just
criminal.
for just a regular like rum punch or whatever, and it's like $20. Like I haven't even
And it's
ordered
like,
appetizers yet. It's
and
like I
it's
don't
not
want
even a real
that's
rum punch. Like you could fly over the
right.
Caribbean for the same price and get you a good.
Exactly. Right, get you a good one from just a local stand. They put a little umbrella in it, and I'm just like, gee, it's a lot. But that's the thing. It's tough to find places that are reasonably priced to travel to because everything is just so expensive now.
Hmm. Yeah, and I feel
Yeah,
like
it's
that's one
tough.
thing that's really deterring a lot of people from traveling throughout the United States too, is it's
Yeah,
really inaccessible to get to, it's really expensive to stay around. Like we don't have the abundance of hostels, like for people that are like looking to backpack. Like I know New York has some and I know LA actually has like two or three, but it's like for a city like the size of LA to only have three hostels is crazy. Whereas like, you go to
yeah,
Mexico City or you're going anywhere else, like you've got like 30 plus choices.
right. You have options.
You have options. Like, so it's just it's not very easy to do, and especially if you don't have a driver's license out here and then renting a car is just expensive as all get out.
Yeah, and then it's like now, like with traveling, it's so difficult because it's like constantly delayed flights, canceled flights, they're
Mhm.
understaffed, you know. Because before the pandemic, like I enjoyed flying. I didn't mind flying. Everything before
Mhm.
the pandemic, I tell everyone, always seemed that everything runs smoothly. Like once in a while you might have a delayed flight or like a canceled
Mhm.
flight. But it's like ever since after the pandemic, no matter any time I go to the airport, I automatically know either the flight's gonna be delayed significantly or they're gonna cancel my, and it's just
Really?
a weird, it's like such like the stressful thing about the travel now. It's like every
Yeah.
time my flight is always delayed, and then it's like it's delayed
Ooh,
wherever I land. Now I gotta run to my gate, to for the next flight and hope that my bags make it. But yeah,
dang.
that's been like the tough thing, at least on my travel, is just that. flights are just so delayed now. Like even out,
Mm.
I think this week with the whole government shutdown, there's been
And
like out here coming out of Vegas, like 30 flights canceled or whatnot. And then so it's just like, boy, that's the downside. Like once you're there, once you get to the location, it's great. It's like, but the
yeah,
flying there
to
with
get
every all
there,
the cancellations and yeah, and then like you're
it's
hoping
stressful.
that your bags make it there. That's the only stressful part of me for me about traveling is making sure my stuff shows up. And I had a friend that
Yeah.
was traveling, I think to like Rome and then Germany for like a the beer festival in October,
Hmm.
Oktoberfest, and it took like 5 days for her bags to get there, and she was tracking her bags with her air tag, and like to the point where it got somewhere in Paris that it was at a warehouse that was off of the out of the airport. And she's like, they're like, we don't know where your bag is. She's like, I'm looking right at it, and it's not even at the airport. So it's like
I know
things like that.
exactly
I'm
where
like,
it's at.
right, exactly. But it's like once you get to the destination, it's great. It's just now it's like with these flights being canceled and it's just like, flights and the prices of everything is like you said,
Yeah,
is deterring people from really wanting to travel, which is unfortunate because it is a great thing to see places and see new cultures and experience
yeah.
new cultures. That's the best thing about
It
it.
is. And really, like, what is like one of the things that traveling has really taught you? Like, if you were to be like, yeah, I definitely would have never learned this had I not been traveling all over the place.
I would think what traveling has taught me is to live in the moment and to enjoy the moment and don't let it just pass you by or take it for granted. Where it's like it's okay to sit and do nothing.
Hmm.
Like I think we're so programmed that like any downtime, it's like, oh, I feel like I'm not doing enough. I'm not doing this, or like you're constantly going, having a plan, thinking of this, thinking of this. Whereas like you go over there and it's like people are just taking their time.
Hmm.
Everyone is just going at a very leisurely pace where it's like you go over there and you're like, okay, why isn't this ready? Where's it? It's like, well, we're not in. They live a different life. Everything's relaxed. It's stress free, and so I
Yes.
think that's what it's taught me is to kind of step back a little bit and breathe, enjoy. Everything is going to be handled and taken care of. I'll just enjoy the moment. And I think that's what Europe or Europe and just traveling in general teaches you of a lot of those cultures. That's how they operate is they'll give everything up for family, friends. Whereas here it's like, hey, can you work? Need to do this shift and like a friend's birthday party, and you're like, I get overtime. All right, yeah, hey, Cam, whereas there it's like,
Yes.
no, I got this event. My friend is getting married, or I'm doing this. So just a whole reverse. Then the fact that places appreciate that, they're not
Hmm.
like gonna harp on you and be like, you got to be here. It's like, understand, enjoy. Here's your paid free time off or whatever, and it just
Yeah.
really teaches you to slow down, see the bigger picture, and know that everything's going to be taken care of. You don't have to rush to get to your destination.
Because you're gonna
So
arrive.
that's you're gonna arrive. You're gonna arrive. People riding their bikes, taking their scooters to get to their, you know, they appreciate. I feel like they appreciate people more of
Hmm.
what they do and how they get to work. Like I think it was I read something or watched a video. I think it was in like Denmark or somewhere over there where like
Where
people
they go in
after
the
work
river?
people hop. Yes, it's like what? Like that's you wouldn't get anything like that out here. I mean, granted, I don't know if we have any rivers that you want to get in like that. But regardless, like just after work, strip down, hop in them, just take it on back home.
Yeah, yeah, when I saw that video, I said, "Wait, am I being, like, duped right now? Like, this is really."
Right. Like that is something that you don't hear about or you don't no one does that,
Yeah,
No one
and if we
and
like, we
things
probably did at some point have rivers to be able to do
exactly.
something like that, but they're gone now.
Right.
Then we got cement over
And
there.
they gone. There is a parking lot, there's a parking lot and there is a new apartment building that just got built over this river. And that's the thing, it's like over there people ride their bikes to their accessibility, like they have
Mhm,
bike lanes that are specific for you to get to where you're
mhm.
going. Here, the bike lane's in the street, and
Yeah.
it's kind of just it's an afterthought. Whereas there, pedestrians have the right of way.
Mm-hmm.
It's so based around your how you live and the quality of life, and if it's easy for you to be able to function in this society, where here they make it so difficult for you to just do the
Mm-hmm.
simplest of tasks here.
Yeah.
And that's why there that's what I appreciate over there, is that they look out for the convenience of people, and so that they can do their job the best way they can and enjoy doing their job, and not being like, oh, I have to go drive Lyft and Uber and then work here, and I'm still not making enough, and they don't care if I show up or not. They're going to just replace me with someone else. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that would be
Yeah.
the one takeaway from Europe. It's just the pace, just the mindset, the pace of life is so much
So much
different. Being in
different.
the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I love that. That's such a good takeaway to like really like,
yeah,
yeah. If there's one thing traveling can teach you, let it be to just take a breath. I like that. Take a breath.
yeah, yeah. Take a breath. Take a breath. Live in the moment. You're gonna get to the destination when you're supposed to get to the destination. There's no need to people stress about so many things, especially when they go on vacation. Vacation is supposed to be vacation. Not supposed to stress. You're not
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be like, oh, we got to be here and we got to check in. It's like, hey, if the check in says this time, let's go explore. You know,
Yeah.
oh well, what can you do?
Yeah.
What can you do?
Yeah. Sit there or
So
just go explore. You gotta pick one.
right, right. Sit there and sulk and be mad over nothing, or just enjoy and have a drink and enjoy where you're at.
Yeah. Oh, well, do you have any parting words or anything else? I mean, I feel like that was a really great way to, that was lovely.
I would say any parting words is to no matter where you travel in the world, overseas, is to always know that you are a guest in their country. And so never feel that entitledness that, like, I need to be served because this, or
Mm-hmm.
oh, they're not going to do anything to me because I'm an American or
Yep.
whatever. No, anytime you travel, always know that I'm a guest in your country. So
Yes.
I'm going to do my best to respect your culture, do my best to even try to communicate, and let you know
Mm-hmm.
that, hey, I'm at your mercy, help me out. And they're gonna love you for that, and
Yeah.
just from firsthand, like if you just know a couple words where you're trying, they see the effort, they know that, oh wow, they're trying to speak to me in my language. They're cool. I like them,
Yeah.
as opposed to going there and being like, do you guys have this? I don't know how to explain it. It's, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
Just go over there. You're a guest, explore, talk to people, get to know people,
Mm-hmm.
really understand how they live. And that's probably my best parting words and advice is go to a
Yeah.
country with fresh eyes. Don't go to a country expecting it to be like a movie that you saw,
Mm-hmm.
or something that someone told you, or, don't listen to people's advice. But when someone, I always kind of, when someone's like, oh, don't go to that country. It's horrible. I had a horrible time. I'm like, well, maybe you had a bad time, but maybe I'll
Mm-hmm.
have a great time. And most of the time that's
Yeah.
the case, because it's like it ends up just being the person. But when someone says like, "Oh, I had a great time here," I was like, "Well, I'll be the judge of that. Maybe you had a different experience than I will, or vice
Mm-hmm.
versa." But yeah, go to a country with fresh, open eyes, and you are a guest in their country.
Yeah. I love that. Definitely you are a guest, the respectfulness, like, and like you said, definitely learning a few phrases or a few words gets you so, so
Yeah.
far. It's just a respect
Oh
thing, you
yeah.
know what I mean? Like, that's,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Like they see that you took the time and the effort to learn something to speak to me, even though we can clearly see you're not from here. And your pronunciation is horrible, but the fact that you take the effort to learn that,
Mm-hmm.
they love that. They love that. But when you go over there just clueless, thinking that you're at Starbucks or something like that and ordering a
Yeah.
frappuccino, then it's like, nah, we don't like these Americans over here. But if you go there and you respect their, how they live and their lifestyle, you have a
Yeah.
brand new friend over there.
You really will. Yeah, that's one thing. You definitely have to leave your mindset of America and like
Hmm.
basically like the ways you see the world. Like you have to leave that in America because
Right.
you're not going somewhere to be in America. You're going somewhere to visit that country and experience it. So it's
Exactly.
like the way that we
Exactly.
do things here, you kind of just have to be mindful to not bring that entitlement with you and to think that just because we do
Exactly.
things one way here, they're going to be done the exact same way there because they're not.
Yeah.
We're not the standard.
Yeah, because you'll have people from Europe come over here to the States, and like we'll treat them like they're like you didn't speak any English, like we're so like
Yeah.
rude, where it's like they're over here trying to speak English, and
Hmm.
English language isn't the easiest thing for someone that's never spoken.
Hmm.
And we give them so much, look at them like, oh, so you've been here for such long, you don't know how to, that type of thing. Whereas over there, you just can say hello or where is this in their language, and it's like, oh, where are you from?
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, well, let me show you, you're cool, you can hang with us. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it, the entitlement. Yeah, don't bring the entitlement.
Yeah. The entitlement. Oh, well, thank you so much, Trevor, for joining.
Yeah.
This was so fun,
Well,
and
thank
I
you.
really
This was
love
awesome.
this. Thank you.
Oh, this was great. This was so much fun to be a travel podcast, and like-minded individuals that enjoy traveling or just curious about traveling. I think this is awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Yay!